As an Iowa State graduate and alumni, it is really cool to see the story of Brock Purdy. If you don't know anything about him, you could just turn on the news during any football game and you'll probably hear a little bit about the fact that he was the last pick in the draft last year. No one ever expected anything out of him, talked about how weak he was and all of these things. And now he's the leading candidate for MVP and has torn up all the competition. I think there's a lot that we can gain from this as individuals, as entrepreneurs, as people who want something more. There's a lot that we can learn for ourselves and that we can learn about other people. So today I want to dive into the 3 different things that we can really take away from his story. My name is Patrick Menefee and I'm here to help you level up your money, your mindset, and your mission in order to help you become the best possible version of yourself. Now these videos come out every single Monday. We dive into various topics like this. So hit the subscribe button and you can be sure to see this face every single week, which I know obviously you want. Why wouldn't you? Now, the first big takeaway that I think we have is circumstances definitely don't define you, but perception is also very real. He was the last pick in the draft. He could have allowed that to change his life. They could have allowed that to define who he was. A lot of times in business and in life, we're placed in circumstances that are not favorable, and they definitely don't give us a leg up. It's about how we handle those situations and how we handle those circumstances that defines who we are. But on the flip side, that perception of him as a last round draft pick, as the last draft pick overall, that plays a big part. The perception of him and what he does and what he's accomplished is very different versus someone who is picked at the top of the draft. And I think there's a lot that we can take from that in terms of value. If you're marketing yourself, you're selling an offer, you're selling a product or service. If you were to make everything blind and you compare one offer to the next, people will see more value if there's a higher price. Alex Hormozi in his book talks about how if you have 2 roughly equal offers, one of them has a higher price point, that one has a higher perceived value. On the flip side, the one with a lower price has a lower perceived value. Brock Purdy had a lower, and still has a lot of ways, a lower perceived value because of the circumstance in which he was drafted. So all of that to say, we don't let our circumstances define us. You rise above them, but you have to be aware that how you come across, how that value comes across matters. You can use that in pricing, you can use that in how you carry yourself, you can use that in all sorts of different ways. At the end of the day, it doesn't define you though. Now, the next thing that I think we can take away from Brock Purdy and his situation is it's important to make the most of the resources that you have. He's making the most of the talent and the situation that's around him. He gets a lot of credit taken away from him because he's surrounded by weapons. Who wants to go into a business that is poor just so that you can be the one that stands out? Who wants to be on a team where everybody else is terrible just so that you're the one shining light? That's a matter of pride versus a matter of progress and a matter of growth. Think about Henry Ford. Henry Ford got a lot of shit when he was talking about how all these different questions, all these different specifics, he didn't have the answer to. And he said, why would I clog my brain? Why would I clutter my brain with all of these things when I can pick up the phone and I can call the person that does that? In my opinion, that's what we should strive to do in our businesses and in our lives, where we focus on the things that we're the best at. I don't need to carry everybody. I shouldn't carry everybody. I should be someone that fits into the puzzle and levels everybody up by me being there. But it doesn't mean that everybody else has to be bad. Now, the third big takeaway that I think we have from Brock Purdy in his situation is to ignore the noise. You turn on the news any day. I go to the gym in the morning and I see they've always got ESPN on. And there's always some question of, is he really that good? Or he wouldn't be that good at another team? Or all of these reasons why he's not actually good at what he does. Do you think he gives a shit? He might. He might feel it from time to time when he feels some of the criticism. But he goes out and he plays his game and he goes out and he does his best. And his best is doing pretty damn well. What about you? When the outside noise is there, when people have something to say, or when there's fear that someone might say something negative, do you continue to play your best, or does that stop you? Does that slow you down? Did you not post the social media video that you wanted to last week because you were afraid of what they were going to say? Did you not make the business decision or jump into something because you didn't feel you were worthy of it because of what someone might think? The noise is out there. The noise is real. The noise is always going to be there. I talked in a previous video a couple weeks ago about, at the start of the football season, about Monday morning quarterbacks. It's a lot of talk. And a lot of times the talk comes from people that are not doing near as much and whose opinion really doesn't matter all that much. If you are working towards something, if you're passionate about your vision, about your dream, about your goal, and you're pursuing it, go for it. Ignore the noise, because the noise isn't going to get you where you're trying to go. And on the flip side, when you get there, and when you do achieve that success that you otherwise had, sure, there's going to be some people that question you or say that you don't deserve it. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. And the majority of the people are going to say, oh yeah, I was with you all along. So I encourage you, how can you lean into some of these things that we've learned from someone like Brock Purdy? How can you take someone, even a pro athlete, and implement some of the things that they have to work on, that they have to do in order to improve you and improve your business? Again, the circumstances don't define you, but perception is real. So keep that in mind. Make the most of the team that's around you. Make the most of the people that's around you. Don't feel the need to only have poor players so that you rise above. It's not a sign of a good leader. Surround yourself with A players. It doesn't take away from your light, it helps the light shine brighter. And the third thing, ignore the noise. Focus on what you can control, focus on yourself. Work towards your dream, work towards your vision, work towards your mission. Don't worry about what everybody else says, because it really doesn't matter. I will see you back here next week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you get notified of the videos, and I hope you have a wonderful week.